Yeah, go for it.
So I'm kind of curious about how all this got started. I live in Oakville, and where I live, there's some people building
Yeah.
like scab trails,
Yeah.
and we've got this whole problem, right? Because if the trails aren't there, then the city's unlikely to approve.
Yeah.
And if you ask the city ahead of time, the city won't approve.
Yeah.
And then, so how do you get to the place where the trails are
Yeah.
sanctioned? And I'm just really curious about that. That's how
So
did it get started?
so I guess technically it was a scab trail to start. So like
Yeah.
we built Adams Run. We used to ride the cut just kind of but there wasn't much, and we were looking for a place to actually build. We used to even ride in like Monarch Woods. Was actually where the first Adams Run was. It was just like a sketchy little downhill run off the cliff.
Yeah.
And then this one was actually Adams Run 2 originally,
okay.
is what the sign
Okay.
says if
Yeah.
you look at the original sign.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And then we just started cutting it, but we were trying to be respectful of the environment. Like when we originally cut the trail, we tried to keep it hidden so it wouldn't get ridden a ton out into the forest. And we actually put signs up like, don't go around the obstacles, don't damage the forest. Like if you,
Yes.
I've still got the original sign from Adams Run in the bike shop in my school
Yeah.
that this guy harvested for me out of the trees. But we spent like the winter of 95, 96, really like, Tim and Adam and me, and we spent a ton of time out here with the little shorty rake and the shovel.
Now-
So much sore back time, but then we rode it a lot in here. I don't know.
I can hold this.
My GoPro's dead. So we rode it a ton in 96, 97, and 98, and more people started to know about it.
Yeah.
And then more people started doing damage. Like some people were
Yes.
tearing down obstacles.
Yeah.
Some people were damaging the forest going around. So that's when we like put up the sign trying to get people to be more respectful. And then you built Sweet Street like 97. But it was after 2000 that lady broke her leg on it, right? Or somebody.
Yeah,
broke
it was
their
there
leg
for
on
a
it.
while. Like
And then
sketchy
and then the city tried to shut
bridges.
it down.
Like,
Because of the broken leg.
Somebody got hurt, and then
Yeah.
the city was worried about getting sued, so they
Yeah.
went in there with chainsaws and started cutting down all the features on Sweet Street and chucking them into the forest.
yeah.
And then there was an outcry from mountain bikers, as far as I know, and then people started petitioning the city to try and save the Hydrocut, and then eventually the city relented.
Yeah.
And
the
then-
Waterloo
yeah.
Cycling Club sort of
Yeah. I-
adopted the area, and they started like building more trails,
Yeah.
and it just ballooned into what it is now.
Yeah.
But Adams Run used to be like really like super techy back then too. It wasn't a lot of drops. There were a few. It was mostly like technical climbs, a little bit like you
Yeah.
have now, where you have like log overs uphill and stuff like that. Some technical climbs, lots of berms.
Yeah.
My favorite feature on the old one was we used to have this like two off-camber logs, like I don't know, 1.5 feet around, with about a 6-foot gap in between, and the trail would come in at like a 45-degree angle, and we filled the inside with sticks. So you had to float up, and if it was wet, if you didn't float it just right, the bike would just shoot, and you would just like stack it into it, and it was right at the end. So you're like dead tired after the climb, and then you got to pick up speed and then float it and then jump down.
So my other question is, did you guys learn trail building through doing, or did you take courses, or did you go
Mostly through
Just
doing.
volunteer on cruise, or
Yeah,
what did you
mostly
do?
through doing. You like we both come out to the North Shore and seen stuff.
Yeah.
So it was like definitely shore inspired in some
Yeah.
ways. Certainly Sweet Street was.
Definitely.
But you just kind of figure out what you like to ride in terms of berms, and you get a look of like the lay of the land. You're like, that looks fun.
Yeah.
And you explore the forest, and then you find a feature, and you're like, that rock looks fun, or we can climb
Yeah.
that, or we can head down here. There's a little drop over here. And then because it was a loop, we would just session loops, and for a while, Adams Run was all there was. So we would just ride out here and then run laps of Adams Run and then head home.
Yeah. Last time I was here, I was on a 26er,
Yeah.
and I found Adams Run really challenging.
Yeah.
And now on
Yeah.
the 29, it's much better.
Yeah.
Like, it's much
Well,
better.
Georgia, Tim's daughter there, that's Tim's bike that he used to ride on Adams Run back in the day.
Okay.
Like on those spin wheels. So
Yeah.
those wheels are old school.
Yeah.
And she did the big drop on Adams Run on that thing. So, yeah, shredding.
Nice.
Anyway, yeah, that's kind of the story of it.
Well,
And,
really,
yeah,
a pleasure to
nice to
meet you
meet
guys.
you, man.
Yeah.
Long distance.
Long distance pound, short distance pound. Yeah, you'll see Tim's a local, so you'll see him out here. You won't see Adam and I out here too often.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well, I'm not a local, so